Our adventure begins. A small city nestled in the temperate forest known as Korvosa. A bustling city front welcomes your gaze as you all find yourselves here. A large, winding inlet stretching from the oceans to the west, cut through the town and carve its way across the coasts and the lands. This is the city of Korvosa. Now, while over the many years it has been established in the southern reaches of Varisia, the city itself has enjoyed relative freedom from its far more oppressive sister nations under the Chelish Empire. Thanks to the efforts of the good king, the town has managed to keep to itself, only ever really dealing with calamities of the nature of barbarian tribes attacking trading routes, a few pirates making their way into old Korvosa to stir up trouble, and did we lose someone? I feel like we did already. That's okay. We will just correct the cameras while we talk. But yes. Now, over the course of the last few years, our characters have encountered a number of the dangers and threats that loom over this city. Oh no, now I'm screwing things up. No, I'm back. Goodbye. There, done. Fixing things, Michael. There are no shortage of dangers within the city as well as outside. Cutthroats, brigands, people who wish to live on the rough side of the city, otherwise known as Old Korvosa, cause many problems for many people. And several individuals who have dealt with one of these problems are Patrick, Holly, Quinn, and Fido. A man, a kingpin by the name of Gadron Lamb, has been terrorizing the city, using small children known as the Little Lambs to steal, pickpocket, and commit even worse atrocities. Involved with smuggling, drug dealing, weapon distribution, and even murder, this individual has no shortage of cruel and wicked fingers placed around the town and around the city. Our scene opens with each of our heroes. I would like to give you a moment to describe yourself and what you are doing in the city in about, let's say, 10 a.m. Patrick, let's start with you.
Oh, Patrick at 10 a.m. is pulling himself out of bed, wiping the sleep out of his eyes, getting started on his morning routine, which is mostly trying to get rid of his hangover.
Makes sense.
Getting ready to start his day.
All right.
Now, he does have a ritual. He does check his gun, make sure everything is clean, make sure everything is in order. It's really kind of the only thing of his that is shining and well cared for.
All right. You look around the apartment, and as you prepare your morning ritual, you lay out a cloth that would otherwise be used to keep all the parts together for your gun as you prepare to clean and disassemble and reassemble your weapon of choice. As you open this somewhat gun oil stained rag, inside is something unusual. Now, Patrick, what is your key ability stat?
My key ability stat is dexterity.
Dexterity? All right, fantastic. In which case, what I would like you to do is roll me a d10, please.
Roll you a d10. All right. Drop that just in the chat box.
Yes, please.
That is a 3.
All right. Now, you see nestled away in your rag a strange-looking tarot card. This tarot card appears like this.
All right.
It is a strange-looking card, but you know that the locals, the Varisians, call this card a Harrow card. If you would like to, you may make a lore or a society check if you would like to do something related to trying to figure out what this means.
All right. So I have lore, academia, or society, which I am trained in.
I'm happy to go with academia if you'd like.
All right. It's +6 on either of them, but I'll go with the lore.
All right, very well. Please make the roll.
20. 20.
Nice. Good start. Good start to this. All right. You recognize the juggler, and I've sent you the details in chat as well. If you would like to read it out, you may do so. Discord chat, that is.
Yep. Just gotta pull up the right chat. Chaotic good card of dexterity. It represents destiny, deities, and those who play with the fates of others. No.
Now, next to
Interesting.
it, there is also a note. But we'll come back to that in just a moment, as we then turn to Holly. Holly, what are you doing during this this wonderful and fine morning? You have been attacked by the Wizard of Silence.
I should unmute before I talk.
Yes.
10 o'clock in the morning, after being used to being at court, that's not at all super early. She is out riding the streets on Holly because she's made contact with the underworld, and it's a terrible, terrible place. But Holly is certain that there are good people out there and is trying to find people to help her. So she is just wandering the streets trying to find those good people.
All right.
Writing Penny.
All right. As Holly is, it kind of has this somewhat dejected look on their face, having bumped into a con man who has taken a small measure of your gold after having scammed you in a kind of one of those, like, the little cup and ball game type things. You kind of feel you feel like someone's taken advantage of you. As you kind of stop to sit down, Penny seems to sort of walk off from you for a short time, just while you're sort of sitting and taking a moment. She returns shortly after with something in her mouth. It's a bit soggy, and she seems a little reluctant to give it to you, but eventually you pry a card from Penny's mouth. What is your character's key ability stat?
It is dexterity.
Would you roll me a d10, please?
That did not work. There we go.
That's an 8. All right. So, as you pull the tarot card out of Penny's mouth, the card you see is this. A series of crows, or at least rogues and thieves, gathered around a table dressed as corvids, is what you see on the card. If you wish to, again, you may try to identify this, or you may just sort of look at it bizarrely.
I definitely want to try to identify that.
Okay, what do you have that you would like to try?
Can we try society?
You may absolutely. Please roll your society check. Also, I'm going to very quickly adjust the dice cam. Oh, very nice. Yep. All right, with that, it is little to no trouble for you to identify the card as the crows. Now, while you don't know quite so much about the native Varisians and their customs, not necessarily having come from their culture, what you have heard is that these tarots have particular meetings. You may look in Discord, as I have just sent you your card. If you would like to read that out.
This is the neutral evil card of dexterity. It represents murder, theft, and the violent loss of that which is loved. I don't like that card.
Penny sort of looks at you, mouth hanging open. You realize that there is still something stuck to her tongue.
I reach in and try to get it, and I also pet her. She's a good dog.
Excellent. All right, you grab the note. Only Time Will Tell has just redeemed inspiration for someone. Inspiration is kind of like hero points, but they must be expended during today's session. So let me know who you would like to give that to, and they will have inspiration for the day. Next up, Quinn. What are you doing for the morning?
Having reviewed my notes before setting out for the day, I'm walking the streets and reconnecting with all my contacts, being sociable generally, enjoying what it looks like it's going to turn out to be a fine day.
All right. So as you're walking through the streets, you come up to a grocer who greets you and welcome, says, "Hey, this one on the house." He throws you an apple. As you kind of go to bite into the apple, the weirdest thing, as you crunch the apple, you feel a sort of something on your lip, like you kind of bumped something, and you pretty much take out. Do you have a knife or a dagger or something?
Yeah.
Yep, you'll use that and sort of cut around the bite mark, and you find in it a folded, but not, it's folded, but like it's not damaged, if that makes sense, tarot card inside of it. Now you, however, having been around here and investigated quite a lot, definitely know that this is a Varisian tarot. These are portents of the future or the past, or even the present. Could be anything. I need you to tell me what your key ability score is, and roll a D8, please. D10. Sorry, D10. Yep, D10.
Okay. I was going to say, why do I get an 8?
Also,
it's intelligence.
Also, Play Nerd Allies has just donated a magic bag, which means at the start of our game, before we've even met these characters and they've put together, you guys have a magic item. I'm going to wait for an appropriate time, Play Nerd, but... This is a city-based, an urban-styled adventure. So if you have a magic item in mind, I'm more than happy to hear you out and see if we can do something with that, in case you wanted to.
Awesome.
But thank you for the magic bag.
Love Play Nerd Allies.
All right.
So D10, correct?
Yes, a D10, please.
Okay.
And what's your key stat?
Is intelligence.
Intelligence, eh? All right, very well.
That's what they tell me.
It's a 2. All right. As you look at the card, it bears the marking of a centaur, laden with a number of different supplies and, kind of traveling gear and the like. This one actually has a very, very special connection specifically to the Varisians, as they are a wandering society, a wandering tribe. So you are very aware that this is a very special tarot for them. And I will paste it there so that you may read it out at your leisure. There you are.
Excellent. Thank you.
Do you want to read it
Should
out?
I read it
Yes,
out to
yes,
all, or?
yes, please.
And
I mean, our
neutral
lovely
good
audience
card.
might love to know what it means.
This is a neutral good card of intelligence. It represents a centaur collector who appreciates things others discard as junk. I like that.
All right. Very nice. Very well. And again, as you are looking at this note, what you don't notice is that a small child bumps into you, like kind of almost like they're running behind their mum, and apologizes. And as they do so, they kind of get back up and keep running, but they seem to have dropped something. As you go to pick it up and, I presume do the right thing and kind of try to hand it back, you notice that it has your name written on it. As we then move our scene to Fido. Fido, what are you doing in the morning?
Well, I am hanging out in probably an alley someplace. One of the side streets. An alley off of a side street, off of an alley, off of a side street. So way in the corner somewhere. And he is just sitting in contemplation over where his first dog had went as he pets the top of his wolf companion, pup, as he calls it. Fido himself looking like he's made out of wood and steel, some kind of metal that is. But in the actual shape,
Sorry. I don't mean to interrupt your role here. I think you're still kind of fading in and out. Did you manage to find that?
I did, and I tried. It's not working, is it?
Did you turn it off? The auto adjust?
I did.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Maybe just lean into the mic a little bit. Just I think it just loses you for a little bit for the sensitivity.
All right. Let's see. Let me try doing suppressing the background noise. Maybe that'll help a little bit.
No. If you suppress the
Right.
background noise, it'll pick up things that'll tune out as well.
Okay.
It just needs to be able to pick you up. That's all. That's fine.
All right. How's this? Is this better?
Yep, much better.
All right, perfect. So as I said before, Fido is sitting in a side alley off of a side street, off a side alley, contemplating on where he might be able to find his other dog as he is petting the top of his wolf companion, who he's named Pup. And just wondering where is that and where he could go to find this place. And he's not too sure he wants to make himself too widely known because of what he looks like, knowing how most people react to that. So
as Fido is sitting and contemplating this, you actually notice that, we noticed, the audience notices, you guys in the audience notice, that like a good 2 or 3 dozen people walk past and they sort of see Fido and they give him kind of a glance, but then they keep walking. You know what I mean? Like it's the big city. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, oh yeah. so Fido's like, people, like, yeah, might need to adjust to this time, because in the past, people were afraid or treated Fido because he is an automaton with a modicum of care and concern. However, yes, the city around seems to be too busy to take notice, for now at least. Your dog wags its tail, and as it does so, somebody seems to put down a small, just basically flick a coin at you. Gain, let me have a look here. Roll a d4 for me. Cool. Gain 1 silver piece as a person walks past, pitying the poor, displaced individual, and is like kind of like thrown you a coin. What do you do at that?
Get up and look at it. This. Okay. Put it in my pocket.
As you go to place it in your pocket, you do seem to notice that something is in your pocket as well.
Pull it out.
All right. What is your key stat, good sir?
I believe it is dexterity.
Yeah, very dexterous group, this. All right, roll us a d10. Now, I didn't mention this before, but I am going to get you to reroll if you roll any numbers that the others have.
What was that?
Which you surprisingly have not.
So, for our VTT in Fantasy Grounds, on the bottom left-hand side, you'll see a series of dice. As long as you pick up those dice with your left click and drop it into the chat box, you should be able to roll the result you need. So that's a 7. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, interesting. All right. It is a strange card and not one you are familiar with. You have difficulty trying to place or identify it, but it seems to be an artistic caricature, a pictograph maybe, or something to tell a story. If you would like, I would give you a perception check to try and gain insight on the avalanche card that you have drawn.
Ooh.
So, in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, there is no, what's the word? There's no insight check. There is, of course, perception, which functions effectively the same. Now, as your character is unable to really know what this means at all. But, sure enough, in your pocket as well, is another note, much like the others. But just for the sake of it, I would like, Chad, for you to just read out to our lovely audience your tarot.
The avalanche. This is the lawful evil card of dexterity. It represents disaster, an unthinking panic and destruction that overruns all. Yay.
There you go. All right. And then, last but not least, Dante, where are you?
Probably in the nearby forest after a hunt.
No.
No.
The game's in the city, Dante.
Yeah.
I can't
There's
have...
a reasoning behind it.
Yeah. There was one restriction. You guys have to be in town was the only restriction.
Well, no.
How about this? Your character
I was
has...
gonna...
you got something?
I was gonna say, after hunting being in the city, going to using what was left of the meat to the I'm brain farting now on the
no,
orphanage
I got
now.
this. I got this. So, Dante has spent much of his days in Korvosa serving as a huntsmaster, training those people who need to learn how to survive in the wilderness. On the occasion, just a couple of people, like maybe a caravan guard or something like that, may book like a 1 or 2 hour course to learn a little bit about the wilderness surrounds. Dante spends most of his time there, but in order to get supplies and things that they need, it is much easier to come to town and buy hempen rope than to sit around idle and try to figure out how to do that with kitsune hands. So, with that in mind, you've currently brought yourself into town bearing a recent sale of some wild boar that you had caught, and you had some supplies that you needed to acquire. You're also looking into something. Again, this is about the backstory element to that we've already discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So with this in mind, as you have just made your sale, you've got like a nice and heavy coin purse. Where would you go first thing in the morning?
Let's see. Probably to There's a lot of places on here.
You don't have to go somewhere specific. Just if you want to find, like, I want to find a restaurant. I want to find a bookshop. Well, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Probably would be going for just a place to relax.
All right, just a
But
place
then
that. Yep. So, you head towards, according to the city, a small, like it's kind of like a beachfront, like just on the edge of the waves. You can kind of see out and into the waters, which you know, fill you with a sense of calm and serenity, as you hear the lapping of the ocean and the call of the seagulls nearby here. Nearby, you can see that there is a seagull battling what looks to be a tiny little devil. And I don't mean that in any subtle way. Nope, it is literally a tiny devil that is battling the seagull. It seems to be fighting over something. You can't really see what, but the seagull is very distressed.
time to help out the seagull.
All right, what do you wish to do to help the seagull?
Give me a moment. Probably going to be going and using wild morph
Yep.
to get so I can have claws, and then coming over to attack the imp.
All right, you rush over
Or
to the
devil.
imp, and as you do so, it sees your approach, and very quickly sort of hisses something at you in what you can only imagine is infernal, before taking flight and leaving the seagull. The seagull, startled by you running with razor-sharp claws on your hand, also takes off. And in the sand is what, strangely enough, looks like a small tarot card. Now, what is your suit of choice? What is your key
Wisdom.
skill? Wisdom. Aha, we got a wisdom one. All right. So, I need you to roll me a d10. That's a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now, as someone who does travel quite a lot, you do know of the Varisians and, of course, their traditions, and you know a tarot card when you see it. Though you don't know exactly what the card means, you may, if you would like, make a society or a other appropriate check in order to try and decipher the card that you've just drawn, which is that of an owl.
Interesting. Well, I guess I'll do society.
All right, make your society check. Okay, 19. Nice. Yeah, no, that's not too hard to that is not too hard to identify. All right, and I will post that for you. There you go. Boom. These tarot cards, to answer McBluff's question, are very specific to the Pathfinder world. They have a few differences to a standard tarot, but they originated in Varisia, though they are found all over Galarian. All right, if you would like to, Rykon, please feel free to read out your tarot.
Yep. This is a neutral card of wisdom. It represents the harsh wisdom of the natural order. The owl holds a needle that can bind life together or pick it apart.
All right, there you go. And attached to it is a card. Which, of course... Sorry, everything's chugging for a second. Thank you. Okay, where are you? Thank you. And all right. Each of you find yourself in possession of a note in addition to this card, which reads as follows. And I'll read it out as well. Okay. Up. I know what Gadrin has done to you. He has wronged me as well. I know where he dwells, yet cannot strike at him. Please, come to my home at 3 Lancet Street at sunset. Others like you will be there. Gadrin must face his fate, and justice must be done. As each of you see this note, the name Gadrin causes a feeling like a giant iron ball to slip from your throat to your heart. The name rings very familiarly. We pass by to sunset, the day having gone by creepily slowly, and your mind flooded with thoughts of this Gadrin Lan, a person you know all too well. 5 of you appear on the street side and look down the darkening road at each other, recognizing that there is only one reason why all of you would have gathered at the front of this house. Now, we are going into a flashback scene. And, Patrick, we're going to start with you.
Standing outside, clutching the the note in his hand, gazing at the others gathered before him, Padraig has a couple of flashes of fractured memories. The first is a happy one, having received his acceptance to the academy and his parents both smiling with joy, and him knowing he's going to be able to embark upon his dream of studying magic. The next is darker. The police coming in, taking him away, his parents in shock, asking what's going on, what could have happened. And then a memory of a trial. Being on trial for murder, a murder he knows he didn't commit at all, wondering why he's there, hearing things about himself, about his family that he may have suspected but never knew. His half-elven lineage coming out, his mother's betrayal of his father resulting in him learning his whole childhood was a lie, and then the memory of his father's anger, being thrown from his house, losing his place in the academy, and finding himself out on the streets with nothing but a name that has been taken from him, and a life that has been torn from him. And he crumples the note in his hand and stares down.
I got a very brief follow-up question, if I may.
Yes.
After being accused of murder, did you spend any jail time?
He did spend a little bit of time in jail. He was held there while the trial was going on, and because of what came out about his background, his father did not put forth bail for him.
So how long were you in jail for murder?
So it was during the course of the trial. once he was, it wasn't like jail. It was more like being held as a suspect. So throughout, once it came out, the witness didn't show up and the case was dismissed, he was released. So I don't know.
Okay. So you weren't convicted. Okay, cool. So you weren't convicted. You were accused of it. Okay, interesting.
I was accused.
No, I was just curious. I was like, that's a very odd response for the gods. Like, you there, you committed a murder, but thankfully you're a half elf on your way. Yeah, seemed very But okay, cool. I like it. All right. Next up, Holly.
Holly is standing at the door to the house and is very happy and excited because now it is just like the books. And she remembers leaving her family's house and she just took the clothes on her back, which were admittedly very, very fancy and nice. And she packed everything with Penny and ran out the door expecting to go on this grand adventure, and everything has fallen flat since then. And she almost lost her sense of optimism, but now she has a mysterious note and the bad guy is recognized as the bad guy. And there's other people here who clearly have the same note and it's going just like a book. And this is the way it's supposed to be. And she's very happy.
All right. And the flashback.
The flashback is when she was leaving and kind of packing everything up at night and taking
the flashback to Gadrin and your connection with that.
To Gadrin, sorry. That was when she had first gotten into the underground and thought that was where the story was going to go, and she was going to go on these grand roguish adventures, stealing from the rich and getting back at people like her family. And she gets in there and sees these filthy, half-starved orphans stealing and getting beaten for not stealing enough, and being utterly horrified at the treatment they were getting and having to run away from that as well. And her heart was just broken at what she had seen, and it wasn't a book. And she wants everything to be like the wonderful adventure stories.
Okay. Nice. I like that. Brilliant. Quinn?
I surveyed this odd collection of people outside of the doorstep, and I think they all really have a tale similar to my own. And my mind chases back to that last time that I saw Charlotte. I was going to visit my friend Brigitte, and Charlotte was her daughter, the closest thing to a child I was like to ever have. Her face was pure sunshine, and she gifted me a ringlet of some weed that she had stitched together into a bracelet. But it was the love. She was excited for school. And the next day when I went to visit Brigitte, Charlotte was gone. Can this really be tied to her disappearance?
All right, beautifully done. Fido.
Fido sitting there on the street looking over everybody. He takes the hood from his cloak and puts it over his head a little bit more. His eyes, they glow like with a deep royal blue, almost like his eyes were just a large LED lights. They don't have pupils, it's just a glowing light. As he thinks back, a couple of weeks ago when he first came to Korvosa, it had been because he was looking for someone who had a book about how the automatons were made and how they could be enhanced and fixed. That's what initially brought him here. And so he came in, though, wanting to make trade. He had some furs from animals he had caught on the way out to trade. One of the first bits of contact that he had with any kind of being was a little stray dog, like a Jack Russell Terrier type of dog that was scrounging for some food and just in a trash heap. Fido had walked up to him and given him some of his jerky that he had. He has no use for it, but he's had it for a while. It was something that someone traded to him in the past few months. So he gave the jerky to the dog. I became close friends soon after that as his connection kicked in. Started training him to do some tricks, that sort of thing, and even put a collar on him. He had gone inside a couple days later after that, after trying to find someone to get some more information with some of the furs he had, to make the trade, and the door was left open, as there often are, and people walking in and out, and he hears a loud yipe from outside. He stops, drops the furs he had, and goes outside to look. And he sees Jack, the little stray he had found and named, laying motionless the side of the building there, its neck twisted in a very nasty direction. And he looked up just momentarily and could not see what had happened. And he heard voices murmuring, "Gadrin's a dick." And he picked up Jack and held him, and has now been looking to try to find who could be so ruthless to just kill an innocent stray like that.
Well, if I may make a slight alteration, these guys
Sure.
probably weren't enemies of Gadrin if you're here after him. So what I would say that you would remember is not so much someone saying Gadrin is a dick, but someone who was constantly giggling is what you remember. Just this piercing giggling laughter, and when asked about it, you were told to look into Gadrin Lamb and to basically, if you want answers. No one knows why you're asking about him, but yeah, that's what you've been told. To find the person who giggles, you got to find Gadrin Lamb.
Okay.
And lastly, Dante.
Perfect.
Hello. Oh boy. So being here with all these others, suddenly remembering of an old friend of his that had gone down a dark path with drugs, and one day having OD'd on it, holding him in the final moments, trying to get help in the process. And then went to looking into who was supplying.
Very nice. All right. Cool. You all look at each other, and as these images flash through your heads, you share a knowing look before the door creaks very, very slowly open. Almost as if it were beckoning you forward.
I'm not really one to refuse a beckoning, especially a foreboding one like this. Dick, I've been invited. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go through the door.
All right. As you...
So it opens, I'll walk right in.
All right. You open the door.
Penny and I ride through after.
I follow.
Do I see
boy.
anything or anyone inside?
All right. What you see inside... if I may just get my notes. Yeah, there we go. Okay. As you walk in, you see a small and very humble-looking building. Here we go. It consists of a single cozy chamber filled with a fragrant haze of flower and strong spice. The aroma comes from several sticks of incense that seem to be smoldering in a wall mount. It seems to take the bearings of a woman with butterfly wings crouching over the sticks, almost as if to keep warm by a fire, and the incense sort of wafting up past her. It's about maybe that big, like small handheld kind of size. The smoke gives this room a very dreamy feel. The walls are draped with a brocaded tapestry, one showing a blackened skulled beast juggling human hearts, another showing a pair of angels dancing atop a snow-blasted mountain, and a third tapestry on the far wall depicts a tall, hooded figure shrouded in mist, holding a flaming sword in a skeletal hand. Several brightly colored rugs cover the floor, almost as if each of the different quilted sections of this rug were done by a different hand. They kind of have these multitude of colors and patterns stitched together in this large rug. The room's one and only furnishing is a wooden table covered by a red throw cloth, and there are several elegant tall-backed chairs, as well as a basket covered by a blue piece of fabric, which sits upon the table. When you arrive, you find a simple note upon the table. It says, "Thank you for coming. I had to step out for a bit, but shall return shortly. Please, have a seat and wait. The basket is for you and contains bread and drink."
I will pull the cloth off the basket and see what's actually in there.
Well, as described, food and wine appear to be in the basket. You can actually see that that obviously there are several large pieces of bread, and immediately you kind of get that smell of the bakehouse as you kind of open up that like cloth. The wine itself doesn't seem to be like a rare or a powerful vintage, but it is still some good wine. Yeah, that is all. It's a little bit chilly, but you can see that there is a fireplace in the corner of the room, and several logs that look as though they may be used to stoke the flames if the fire were lit.
Is there any water?
Sorry, Holly?
Is there any water?
Looking around, you cannot see any, but you know that there's an area a little bit further in. Likely there'll be a water, like a water container or a water barrel, in there.
Is there any
I'm
whiskey?
looking for water for the dog.
Yep. Easy done. You see that there is a water barrel with a ladle that you can easily dish out water, not only for your dog, but you also see that Fido has arrived with what looks to be a large wolf as well.
I put water out for both the dogs.
Okay. Patrick, sorry, you were saying as well?
Oh, Patrick does not have a lot of money and is not going to turn away free food and drink. So he's going to grab a loaf and grab a bottle and start on the bread and wine and take a peek and see if maybe there's anything stronger than the wine kicking about. But otherwise, if not, he'll just sit down and tuck in.
Sure. Quinn?
Describe the woman with butterfly wings.
By the incense, keeping warm.
Yep, the statue looks to be made of it's just carved stone. Nothing valuable like marble or anything like that, but very, very fine craftsmanship here. You can see that it is a depiction of the goddess Desna, which is a Varisian god. In fact, Patrick and Quinn, as you're kind of looking around, Quinn, you have a power known as That's Odd, which allows you to immediately observe something unusual and relevant in the area. I would say that this would be that this house clearly belongs to a Varisian traveler. These individuals are, again, like I said, normally they have caravans. They don't actually build houses and the like. But from what you can gather, this person may have possibly been a fortune teller. having noticed not only the tapestries, the incense, the various odds and ends, the kind of knickknacks that you find lying around, building this sense of supernaturalness in the air around you, gives you this impression.
Okay. I pull out the tarot card and give it another look. Put it back in my pocket.
Sure. You all can kind of see as Quinn pulls out their tarot card, you all kind of see it as well.
I'll pull mine out as well. Say, hey,
Received a card.
which one have you gotten?
I pull it out of my pocket and I show him.
All right. Yep.
All right.
You take a moment, and anyone who sorry, let's rephrase. Does anyone not wish to show off their card? Nope. Good. All right. You take a moment and you share each other's cards. Yeah. Reading it for a while, you kind of realize that this is definitely the right place between the fortune tellingness, the obviously Varisian, tarot readings and the like. Yeah. You take a moment and you realize, yeah, this is definitely the right place.
Does anybody know what this card means? I'm not familiar with this tarot.
Would I know? I mean, we talked about
Sure.
me having a familiarity.
I'd say you're familiar enough that you would know and be able to tell about the avalanche being a sign of catastrophe or disaster. And no sooner than you say that, there comes a loud, very sudden banging at the door. Well, I say banging. It's just a very sudden knock on the door.
Is that the door we came in, or a
yes,
different
it is.
door?
It is the door. Oh, yeah. Sorry, go on.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say, when I came in, I just kind of stepped to the side of the door of the hinges. When I heard the knocking on the door, I would go and step in front of the door, put my foot down near the front of it, and see if I can hear on the outside if there is one or more people.
All right, make a perception check as you attempt to listen to the other side.
Oh, that should actually be more. It should be +7 to that.
That's because you rolled a performance, not a perception.
Well, son of a puppy dog. I didn't have the right one. See what I did there? See what I did? All right, 15.
I mean, they are right next to each other.
All right. Well, the knocking that occurs on the other side seems to not force themselves in, and after sort of listening, someone appears to be waiting for a moment before saying, hello? It is a female voice, and you then hear the sounds of someone trying to push the door open against your foot.
I look to everyone else. Shall I let them
Open
in?
it.
I call back.
Well, whoever
Hello.
lives here is gonna just come in, right? It's their house.
Might be someone else who got a note.
I'm going to make sure that my gun is loaded. And
I pull
lean
my foot back
in.
away from the door.
All right. As you do so, the door indeed opens. And as it does, inside walks this woman. There we go. And boop. Share that with the audience. All right. Entering appears a Vistani woman, probably about in her mid to late 20s. She has a bandana wrapped around her head and very humble clothes. She looks around and says, "Oh, you came. Excellent. Please, don't stand up on my part," he says, looking at Padrick, who has a gun trained on her.
Well, it's not trained. It's just,
Look,
at the
either
ready
you're,
in
either
case I
you're,
need to.
yeah, we've been over this. I've said this. I don't know if I've said it on this group, but I'll say it again. Either you're alert or you're not.
All right. Well, he's got it. He's got it trained then.
There you go. And now you
I'll
may
put
put your
it
gun
down,
down.
though.
There you go. See, it's no different. It's no different. It's nice and easy. It's like, yeah, nothing wrong with
You can
training
be
your gun
alert
on
with it
people when you're
holstered.
alert. It's like, we don't know who this is. I'll aim a gun at you. Oh, you're calm. Okay, I'll put it away. Because I don't remember what it was, but it's always a case of like, when they find out it's someone calm, it's like, oh, I don't point my gun at her. It's like, cool. Next time if it's a bad guy, you won't be pointing your gun at him when he comes in. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine. You're either alert, it's fine. All right. So she introduces herself as Zelara, and she waits for you to introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Holly, and this is Penny.
I will finish my bread, finish my swig of wine, make sure I've holstered my gun, and say, Padrick, your baker's good. Pleasure to meet you.
I'm Quinn, but I expect you know that already.
My name's Dante.
I'm Fido, and this is Pup, as I motion down to my wolf, who's sitting at my side.
A pleasure. And yes, I don't necessarily know all of your names, but I know who you are. I was the one who called you here, and for good reason, as I'm sure you are all aware. The man by the name of Gadrin Lamb has taken much from this city and its people. And, well, there's a good reason I need to remain hidden. You see, great harm would be done to me if anyone knew that I was reaching out to others to help. This man has done something terrible to each of you, and has the capacity to destroy the lives of any whom they touch. And his anger is only matched for his gift for avoiding reprisal. You see, a year ago, his thieves stole this. And she holds up a small deck of cards. My Harrow Deck. Sorry, not the deck. She holds up a deck case, like a little holder. She opens it up and reveals that it's empty. This is very important to me. There are many decks of the Harrow that are traded among the Vistani. Sorry, Vistani, what am I saying? They're among the Varisians. Yeah, I went straight into it. Because Mac was talking about it, so I put on Vistani music, and then that was stuck in my head. Many decks are traded among the Varisians, but most Varisian families have decks which are very unique to them, very personal. These ones are passed down by family, and this one was our family's. It passed through dozens of generations before it was in my hand, and it was also my sole means of supporting myself. When Lamb's pickpocket stole it from me, my son Aaron tracked them down. He told me that where they were and said he was going to confront them, and I insisted that he didn't. Well, he left in the middle of the night, and Gadrin had him followed. Soon after he'd left my home, Gadrin's thugs, you find that she stops as her throat catches I sought help
How
from
long
the
ago
Korvosa.
was this?
Oh, sorry, go on.
I apologize. I was going to ask, how long ago was this?
Within a month, I'm afraid.
Please go on. I apologize.
Oh, sorry, you're a little soft again.
Please go on. I apologize.
Well, I sought help from the Korvosan guards, but they turned me away. I also asked around, paid bribes, consulted my other Harrow decks for advice, and recently I was rewarded. I found where Gadrin dwells. He's in an old fishery north of here, at West Pier 17, where he trains abducted children to be pickpockets and count stolen treasures. But I need your help. I cannot face this man on my own, and the guards move so slowly that if they were willing to help, Gadrin would certainly know of their coming well in advance. And even if they arrest him, what guarantee would I have that he would be punished? This criminal has evaded the law for decades. But you know these frustrations.
Yeah. Padraig's going to note, you're wise to not trust in the guards. They can't get anything right. Justice in this city is a joke.
It truly is, and it is a shame, for it is such a beautiful city. The word of the street is that Gadrin has wronged each of you, and therein lies why I approached you. If together, I think we have a chance to make him pay for what he has done.
You say you know where he lives?
She described a pier to the north, West Point 17, I believe.
All right. Any other information about it, or just how many people are there? Do you know?
I'm afraid the Harrows are not so specific as those details, but I assure you the location is true.
It's more information than I've ever had. I don't know about all you guys. I'm certainly in for getting this bastard.
Certainly wouldn't hurt to look.
I would guess that he's done this to more than just us and to this young woman. Probably done this to many, many more. There'd be many people whose lives would be much more peaceful were this man brought in or put to sleep.
So it sounds like we need more information. So maybe we need to go by there first and see how many guards he has outside and see the best way inside.
Well,
Echo
yes,
that,
recon's always a good first step, especially if we're relying upon a deck of cards for our intel. I'm only going to trust that so far.
Which you remind me, sir. I pull out the avalanche card and I show it to the woman. Zelara, was it? Is this your card?
Yes.
It's not a magic trick.
Well, in a way, the Harrows are all connected into the magic of this land and the people that are here.
Do you wish it back?
No. In fact, I wish to give you another gift. Keep those, please. They bear good fortune from our people, but perhaps, if you would allow me, I may do a reading myself. Maybe offer some insight into your journey ahead. Now, for the purposes of this, because we're gonna scream through this really quickly, she is going to perform a harrowing for you guys. These will give you actual bonuses for the adventure, or for this book, and I'll need you to write these down on your character sheet under notes so that you guys will have them.
All right. Padraig will lean forward. Go ahead.
Okay. 1, 2. All right. Now, I want you to write down that you have a Harrow point. So 1 Harrow. You may use this Harrow in this book to re-roll initiative, reflex saves, and any dex-based attack or skill. You can also use the Harrow point to get a +1 to your armor class for 1 encounter, to a max of 3.
So, and I'm going to have to ask you to repeat all of that because I was popping up my note to write it down. So
Nope,
I've got 1
that's
Harrow point.
That's okay, I will paste to you. Or you can spend 1 point to increase your speed by 10 foot. So don't worry, that will be pasted in Discord as well in case you didn't catch any of that.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot more useful.
But that is
Copy
okay.
and paste for the win.
So, and I assume it's 1 use only, and the increased speed would also be for 1 encounter.
Yeah, for right now, you all have 1 Harrow point. But though Harrow points are gained for various different things as you go, as you can complete objectives. All right, so let's see. When a PC who drew one of the following 9 cards reaches the corresponding encounter. Okay, you got the Avalanche. All right, so Fido, I need you to write down City in Turmoil, because you will gain benefits of +2 to all dexterity checks and +1 AC during that event. We had the Crows. So who got the Crows? That was Holly. Holly, I want you to write down the name Vreeg, Vreeg. Because you will get those same bonuses during your combat with Vreeg. The Juggler. We got the Juggler. Dante, you will get it during the Shingles. So I want you to write down Shingles for yours. And I think that was everyone who got a dexterity-based one. All right. Fantastic.
Actually, Dante, wasn't yours wisdom? And Padraig, I think maybe you got the juggler.
Oh, did Patrick get the Juggler? Sorry, my apologies. I thought I got that the wrong way around.
That's okay.
Yep. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got the Juggler.
Yep, so Shingles then for you, Patrick. And Dante, yeah, you unfortunately, yes. It's this one is the dexterity one, so that's the ones that you get. Okay. Now, without any further ado, it is now about 8 p.m. and night has set in, with bellies filled with food provided by Zelara. You now need to decide what you wish to do. Holly has mentioned that it might be worth investigating the old fishery before instigating any attack, finding out some numbers. Does anyone wish to do something else, or does anyone disagree?
No, I think that's a perfectly appropriate move.
Me.
All right. In which case, our heroes leave Zelara's house. And I will just very quickly share the map with my players. All right. Now I believe
I want to keep an eye out when we're leaving to see if there's anyone watching.
All right, Zelara's house is H15. The old fishery is S12. Okay. So, this is where our group travels, in case anyone is following at home or on my screen here. Let's give our characters a healthy pink color. There we go. All right. So, beginning in Zelara's home, our heroes make their way along the west dock, eventually arriving at the fishery.
We're doing this stealthily, right?
Well, again, the streets are like stealthing through the streets is very suspicious.
Not
When you get a little closer,
Yeah.
when you get a little closer, you can stealth around. And then you arrive at the old fishery. Anyone who wishes to may make a society check to learn a little bit about the history of the fishery, or, if you wish to ask some of the fishermen around, you may make a diplomacy check. Or if you wish to interrogate some of them, you can make an intimidate check. Be like, yeah, tell me about what you know about the old fishery. All right, society.
Society.
That's a good one. All right. So, society. Nah, unfortunately, Patrick, you don't know too much about this area of town.
I've never really liked fish.
Nope, Fido as well. Unfortunate. Now, I'm gonna give this to. Nope, apparently it's just Holly. So, Holly, you may decide. Well, how much would you like to know? Would you like to know everything? Would you like to know a little bit? Would you like to know? Do you have any relevant questions? How would you like to go about this? Because I can give you a ton of stuff on the fishery.
I want to know layout of the fishery. Is it currently in use? If it's not in use, why? And potential places for people to hide.
All right. So,
Prince.
I got you. All right. So, as with all of Gadrin Lamb's hideouts through the decades, the old fishery seems to be another one of a many large number of forgotten sites echoing someone else's dreams. It seems as though the current ownership to Gadrin passed when the previous owner died when a devilfish attacked his fishing boat. This area here, oh, sorry, let me unlock your models here. There you go. This area here has basically 2 stories. The story that you can actually see in front of you, which is the main floor, but you also know that behind the actual fishery is where they dock the boat, and underneath the pier that it hangs over is another secret level, like just down below there. To get to that level, one would either need to go inside the fishery and then out around the back to travel down a flight of stairs, or to travel through the ship itself, where there's actually a lower loading bay that leads underneath. Otherwise, there is no way down there unless you want to go swimming. Now, the inside, there is a processing kind of area where they would, after they catch fish, they would put them in tanks and stuff like that. So you know that there's a large processing area where they would tank the fish, and they would also clean them, cut them, gut them, etc., etc., etc. You also know that the workers used to live here as well, so there are some living quarters. As for what lurks below in the lower area, there's nothing too much to say about that. There's just a small living space, and that's about it.
Okay, I relay all that information to everybody.
All right. Now, while that information has come out, we have a plot twist from our dear friend Chu, who is none other than our delightful friend Eric, who we love. We love Eric. We want Eric to play on our tables again. We miss Eric. All right, Chu, you get to decide. Here we go. You get to decide between all in the details or what are the odds. It is your choice. Let us know, and that'll be the one that we use for today's session. All right. Now, again, please feel free to move around the space. What are the odds? Done. All right, yes. So please feel free to move around the space. Yeah.
Are there guards outside?
There are no guards. All you see is the dilapidated building. The only illumination seems to come from your torches.
Going
I will go
to
inside.
I'm gonna kind of keep a lookout outside and just make sure that our backs are covered.
All right. As you approach the old fishery and attempt to open the door.
Do I notice anything odd?
Oh, sorry. This is just as Fido is opening the door. You haven't noticed anything odd. No. Not from the outside of the building, anyway. The door is wooden and solid, mottled with mold and grit. It is, at this time of day, boarded shut. You can kind of push against it, and you realize there's no like lock or chain or anything like that. But there is a wooden bar that seems to be just resting on the other side, preventing you from accessing it.
The door is barred on this side, or on the other side. Is there a...
Is it a double door with a bar?
Yeah.
Is that what? Is there a gap between the two that's wide enough for me to slide a sword in and just pop the bar off?
There is, but the bar is very heavy. You would need to make a athletics check in order to try and lift something of that weight with the tip of your sword.
Okay. I'm not especially athletic, but I will give it a try.
I know the feeling.
Let me just organize
All
all
right.
my windows, and that's not too
Ooh,
That's not
terrible.
too bad. That's not too bad.
Wow.
As you're trying to lift it, it's kind of slowly getting up there, but you need a little bit of help. If someone is willing to help you, you could probably get it loose.
I will
right
help.
there. I'll do it.
All right.
Okay. Well, you're probably buffer than I am.
It doesn't matter who. Just like literally anyone helping would be enough. You don't even need a roll. Also, I do have a rule, and I'm going to play it here because I love this rule, and it is one of my favorite rules in this game because I feel like it conditions players to be the kind of players I love playing with. And that is, if you roll when I don't ask you to, you will fail automatically.
Oh no.
It's a good one. It's a great one. It's one of my favorites, especially when it comes to attacks. No, I'm joking. I rarely do it on attacks. It's usually perceptions and athletics and stuff like that. It's like, no, you just succeed. Because, like in this case, yes, you just succeed. So, as you hold the tip of your sword, Quinn, you kind of got the sword in there. Fido, you kind of place your hand, like, kind of on like, kind of the guard of the sword, and you kind of look at Quinn, and at the same time as you lift and put your legs into it, you hear the sound of the wooden slat rising and then falling. As it does so, there is this very loud bang as the wood hits wood onto the other side. And very quickly, you hear the sound of a dog barking.
From inside?
Yes, from inside.
Oh, I guess we found the doorbell.
I will pull out one of the pieces of jerky that I have in my one of my pouches still and kind of slip it through the door.
Oh, we can open the door now.
All right. So, peering
crack it
through
a
the
little.
door, and let's open this up so our players can see what's inside. All right. Now, keeping in mind, you can kind of see what's inside, but again, you can't really it's only a peek. It's only like a crack in. All right. A single desk is in the middle of this room with a moldy chair pushed up against it. A small pile of ratty furs and straws is heaped against the desk. As you can see, a grizzled old dog seems to move and bark at the door, having heard the wood kind of land. Basically starts to growl and move forward. The door's not wide enough that it's going to lunge yet, but as you place the jerky there, I'm going to get you to make a survival check for me.
Okay. It's okay to roll, right?
It is okay to roll.
Apparently, it's not a good roll. It's good for me to roll.
All right. That's a bit dramatic. Let's dial it back a bit. All right, there we go. Nice and easy here. Beautiful. Okay. Now, as you stick your hand in with the jerky, unfortunately, you are not quick enough, as you have critically failed your check to try and calm the dog. Instead of calming, it flies into hostilities and attempts to make a bite attack on your arm. Fido? It rolled a 13.
It does. My AC is 18.
Yep. as you can see, Fantasy Grounds will calculate, and you have been hit. As the teeth sink into your robotic arm, you take 4 points of damage, which is now calculated onto your character sheet. And with our new card that we got from our dear friend Eric, What Are the Odds? It is going to clamp down and simply not let go. Now, as it's not basically trying to pull you in, but as you're trying to pull out, the dog's shoulders are closing the door on your arm itself. So you are actually stuck, wedged between the door at this point in time. We're going to fly into initiative at this point, as the dogs are well, the dog is still barking, and the like, and you can kind of see this impact happening. Now, because you guys were stealthing, I'm going to allow you guys to use your stealth to roll initiative. For those of you at home playing, Pathfinder allows for a multitude of different ways for initiative to be rolled. While predominantly it will be your perception check, in certain cases, while you are performing different activities, you may use other skills. Because our heroes mentioned that they wish to stealth around and through this area, even though they were kind of caught in battle, they may use their stealth in order to try and determine their initiative.
Now, when you say I may use my stealth,
you may also use your perception if you would like to as well.
thank you.
All right, and blue. Let's see, where are you? Come here, blue. All right. Oh, wow, blue is quick.
Oh my goodness, there's 3 people who rolled 22.
At least Fido stopped him from barking.
Also, I have the wrong token.
You need... So you're in human form?
Yeah, I'm in my normal form. I'm not in the fox form.
There you go. Aha, see? I programmed it all to do it there. So, go Fantasy Grounds.
I'm gonna take that 11 roll, as I was paying more attention to the outside than the inside.
Oh, definitely. And Holly, weren't you up over here somewhere a second ago? Like up north next to the corner up here?
No, when they started cracking the door, I moved down.
Ah, okay, yep. Very well. Now, our initiative begins with Blue, who, while he did get the same 22 as everyone else, his basic modifier is higher, which is why he gets to go first. Now, traditionally, in a game of Pathfinder, everyone has 3 actions in a round of combat. There is no such thing as a bonus action or a swift action, and everything is basically an action. So, attacking, moving, opening doors, drawing a weapon, etc., 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 etc. Everything is an action. Spells and some other things can often take 2 actions, some even take 3 actions, but we'll get to those when we get to it. In this case, Blue's first action is going to be, again, to clamp down. For this particular instance, you, our dear friend Fido, are going to be considered to be not grabbed, but entangled. Enfeebled. No, entangled. Yes, enfeebled. There we go.
Ooh.
You have enfeebled 1. This is because your arm is wedged in the door. So Blue's first action is going to be to, again, attack you again, taking another bite out of this strange arm that has come into its room. Ooh, that is painful.
Nice.
What is your AC, by the way?
18.
18? Nice. Okay, well, luckily enough for you, yes, he takes a nice little bite at ya, but does not manage to penetrate your armor. Oh, sorry, no. Sorry, he does manage to penetrate your armor, but he doesn't manage to critical hit your armor. So, Fido bites and deals 2 points of damage to you as you feel the teeth again, sort of, as he's sort of, doing that thing where dogs sort of hang on and then it's just sort of shaking left and right. You feel your arm being pulled violently. Those of you on the other side of the door, again, hear this commotion. Thankfully, with the dog's arm in his mouth, it's not barking anymore, but it is, again, causing pain and it's causing pain. Now, because I'm attacking again, in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, anytime you make a subsequent attack action, such as even grappling or tripping or whatever, there is a -5 penalty as a base to your next attack. Then another -5 if you were to attack a 3rd time. This dog is going to attack a second time. And will critically miss. Now, why did it critically miss even though it didn't roll a natural 1? Well, in Pathfinder, what happens here is a critical miss is anytime you fail a check by 10 or more. Because it attacked at a 7 and Fido's AC is 18, that counts as a critical miss. So, Fido is going to draw from our deck of crit fumbles. Fido, decide us 1 to 5 if you would. Pick a number.
Let's go 1.
Number 1. Bam. There we go. Okay. Decision paralysis. You are slowed 1 until the end of your next turn. Okay, well, that gives us a very clear out because this would otherwise be its 3rd turn, but because it is slowed, it loses that turn. And we then go to our next person in initiative, which is Dante.
So, seeing how this is going on, Dante is going to try and reason with it, using with my wild empathy ability.
Okay. Now, could you tell us or inform or enlighten our audience as to how wild empathy works?
It gives me a connection to creatures of the natural world. It allows me to communicate with them on a rudimentary level. I get to use diplomacy to make an impression on animals and to make very simple requests of them.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, wild animals will give you the time to make your case.
All right, this is definitely not one of those cases. The creature is hostile, so it is quite a difficult check, but you may use your diplomacy in order to attempt to coerce this creature.
Oh, it rolled off that 18.
Unfortunately, with a 10, that is not going to help. But that is only 1 action. You still have 2 more actions. I think you might be muted.
I am thinking.
Oh, very well. Sorry, I saw your mouth moving, but no sound was coming out.
Also munching on something.
Ah.
Jesus.
But not dog.
Lost the plot a bit, but there you go. Well, Odd Bandicoot, while we're waiting for Dante to decide what to do next, our group of individuals have basically run afoul of a evil crime lord by the name of Gadrin Lamb. And our heroes each have a grudge against this guy who has been avoiding the police. They have been brought together by a gypsy woman by the name of Zelara, who has told them that this man has stolen her family heirloom, a tarot card deck that she needs back. In addition, this man had also arranged to have her son murdered, and it is up to these guys to find justice because the guards will not help. So that is where everyone's at the moment. We also have an insight bonus from Odd Bandicoot. We have lots of insight here. The dog is making a lot of noise, which is obviously going to attract more attention. It is up to you guys as to whether or not you wish to pursue that attention and run in guns blazing, or if you wish to pull back and try a little later. Keeping in mind with the dog on alert, likely it'll be about a round or so. They'll probably be like, "Oh, the dog's barking. Oh, it's still barking. Oh, it's attacking something." You know, there'll be a couple of rounds between now and then. So if you can deal with the dog before the others show up or before the alert is sounded, you are still technically stealthing. So there's that. That's your insight bonus. Either deal with the dog quickly or run away if you wish to not get caught.
I'm going to give guidance to Fido.
All right, very well. So, if you wish to give guidance to someone, basically what you would do is you would open up your actions tab and go down to your spell, and under guidance there should be a status. Dragging and dropping that status onto that character will give it to them, as you have now given the guidance to Fido. Dark but interesting. Oh yeah, no. Each of these
Feel
stories are
guided.
super dark, Bandicoot. Crazy dark. All right, which then brings us to Holly. Oh wait, yeah, because guidance is a 2-action ability, right?
It is 1, but I am not sure what to do for the 3rd.
Well, yeah, you can keep a watch out, like just keep weather eye out, make sure no one's coming from
Yeah.
around the sides of the building.
I'll do that. Because
Cool.
it's like, I don't get a whole lot of spells that are useful in attacking situations.
No, that's true. That's true. All right. Next up on our list is Holly.
I don't want to hurt a dog. I don't want to hurt a dog. But I don't think
Why do you think I tried to reason that with it first?
Yeah, and I don't think my diplomacy will work on a dog, will it?
Only if you have wild empathy.
I do not have wild empathy. And I'm assuming Penny can't reason with the dog.
Not without master of their kind.
No. Guys, we've alerted the guards. I think we should just take off for a minute and let things calm down and try to find a different way in. I say we flee.
Does the dog still have a chomp on Fido's arm, though? Is he like,
It does. It does. Basically, Fido's
We're gonna have
arm
to deal with that.
Fido's arm is trapped. I'm also gonna say this. Given the nature of this, where's Fido? Fido is here. Fido has taken 6 points of damage. You have 13 hit points remaining. I'm going to say this. If Fido drops to 0 hit points, normally you would enter the dying state. I'm not going to enter you into the dying state if you take the damage from this. What I am going to do is I will take your arm. If you if you are knocked unconscious and enter the dying state from this dog and the door trapping your arm.
Okay,
Big
can
city,
I?
We can buy another one, right?
I am.
I'll
Super,
just get it back.
I am super tiny. Can I reach my arm in and smack the dog's nose with my dagger to get the dog to let go?
Yes, and you can do this in a non-lethal fashion, which is perfectly fine.
That is what
Yep. Let me just double check. What's that?
I just want to wiggle my way up to the door and take the flat of the dagger and smack the dog's nose really hard to startle the dog and get the dog to let go of his arm.
Okay, sure. All right, so you can make an attack, and that is with a -2 penalty to your attack value.
Okay.
If you wish to apply it, on the bottom left-hand side of Fantasy Grounds, there's the little modifier box. If you type in -2 there, that should be it.
Okay. And do I use my dagger attack?
Yes, you would use your dagger attack.
Okay.
All right. Did you drop the attack onto the dog?
I did not. I screwed up.
No,
Sorry.
that's fine. Let me Let me have a look here. Okay, the dog's AC is 15. Unfortunately, your original attack, so you've moved up, you've made an attack, that attack has missed. Now you can take a -5 penalty for your second attack. So you should see that there's a list of attacks there. So there's
Okay. I will try a second attack.
all right, don't forget you still have the -2 if you're doing a non-lethal attack. And yes, you may try to hit him again.
Modifier went away, adding that back in. Okay, trying it again. Dropping on the dog this time. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a double oof. All right, so that is a critical miss. So while you tried to swipe at the dog, I need you to pick me a number between 1 and 5 to tell us what you've done instead.
5.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hitting with a melee attack. Bent, Your weapon's current hit points are reduced to the broken threshold. If your weapon is already broken, you take 3d6 damage. Now, what this means is that your weapon, your blade, as it tries to hit the dog, accidentally hits Fido's armor plating, and you hear this very soft ting, and your dagger is now unusable.
This is a very pretty dagger.
That's not good.
It was very pretty.
All right, you do. So that was your 2 attacks and your movement. We then move to Quinn.
I would like to.
Oh, sorry. Before you move there, Quinn, I do apologize. Holly is
No
now
worries.
also here.
Okay.
All right, what do you wish to do?
I want to move a bit closer. And I cock my head to the side and I look the dog over. And I
It
look
is
at the
very
teeth
difficult.
embedded into his arms.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's very difficult to see the dog between Holly and Fido, who are both kind of jammed into the door at this point.
Okay, so I can't see anything.
You can kind of see fur, every now and then you get a glimpse of its eye and its teeth as it's sort of moving back and forth. As you can imagine when, like you've seen dogs with rope, right? Like it's just moving back and forth with this arm. It's like
Right, yeah.
basically
right,
trying
right.
to tear off a piece, so yeah.
Can I see enough to devise a stratagem?
Yes, 100%.
All right. I would like to devise a stratagem.
All right.
So
Now,
I do the
for our
D20
audience,
in the chat.
while Quinn is doing this, devising a stratagem is where Quinn will take a moment to assess the situation. She will roll a d20 in advance and can choose to apply it or not to the attack roll that she's going to make next.
Nope.
All right, so you got a 7. What would your total be if you applied a 7?
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Need to check my... Because I'm going to draw my sap.
So drawing your sap will be an action. Actually, no, that'll be
is
it. So drawing your sap will be an action. Moving to the door will be an action.
Okay.
And then devising a stratagem will be a
So I'd have to use my sword because it's already drawn. All right, so it would be an 11.
An 11? Okay, yeah, an 11 won't hit, so you'd be better off just rolling on its own.
Right. So I'll just draw my sap and wait.
Okay, so you're winning around. All right, not a problem. All right, which brings us to Fido. Fido, your arm is caught. Your arm is nabbed. Sorry, was that a question, Holly? Nope, okay.
You're muted.
Also, hi, Varian. I see you. All right. Also, guys, I just got to ask real quick. Do we have enough time to go for another, say, half an hour or so? Would everyone be okay with that? No is a perfectly
good.
fine answer. We can... Is anyone not
I'm
okay with
definitely
half an hour? Sorry, I think you muted Ire.
I was having a little sidebar. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So in full candor, I had told my son that we would probably be winding up soon.
Okay, cool.
But-
No, that's fine. I'll try to wrap up as quickly as we can, which is not good news
It's
for you,
fine.
Fido. Just take the arm and run off. No, okay. Yeah, we'll try to end up as quickly as we can. So, Fido, it is now your turn.
All right, so understanding this, the door is still effectively closed on my arm.
Yes,
With the
because
dog on
while
the
you're
other
trying
side?
to wrench it out of the creature's mouth, you're pulling the door shut on your arm, and the dog is preventing you from pushing your arm forward because the door is hitting the dog. Now, if the dog pulls back on it, you'll fall into the room, and the doors will fling wide open, which is up to you if that's what you would
Okay.
like.
What I would like to do is move in so that the doors open up. And as I'm doing this, I say, "Don't kill the dog. It's just doing his job." As I'm kind of grinding my teeth together. Is that an action? That count as an action?
Pushing the door forward, yes, that'll be moving into the room. The door opens, and as it does, obviously, you can hear the sound of the door like opening up. And the dog is in there and kind of still attacking and yada yada yada. You got 2 more actions.
All right. I want to do the hunt prey, basically marking this dog as my prey.
Done. Dog is marked.
So that's giving me the bonuses against it. I also, now that it is my prey, I would like to apply my, I don't know if it's something I have to do or if it's automatically happens. I've got the my hunter's edge gives me outwit, which gives me the +2 circumstance bonus to deception, intimidate, or stealth checks, or anything else with this dog, and also +1 circumstance bonus to AC against their attacks.
Okay. Yep. I'll keep the AC in mind. If you whenever you do these other ones, we'll keep those in mind as well.
Okay. With that being said, I now wish to basically kind of growl at him to dominate, to try to be like, to dominate him, and it's going to look really funny, but I'm going to basically try to take my other hand and stick it into his mouth at the back of his jaw so that he has to, so he starts to choke a little bit and he's forced to have to let go of my hand. But as I'm doing this, I'm growling at him and trying to intimidate him to show that I am the alpha and he needs to go down, otherwise I'm going to put him in his place.
Okay, let's start with an intimidate check because you will probably need this to offset some penalties from the attack. So let's go with an intimidate.
And
Do I
because of
drop
guidance,
this on him?
and because of the guidance, you can have a +1 additional to this, but you will not be able to have it afterwards.
Yeah, but that'll all automatically. Oh wait, sorry, will it? Yeah, no, that'll automatically be calculated.
It
But
won't
yes,
what
you do have the
afterwards?
guidance from Dante, which is like kind of glowing energy around you at the moment. So make the intimidate.
I'll use it. I'll use it. Okay. Okay, I guess that doesn't work. But I'll do it over here. Ooh. So that actually comes up to 13. Because I got the +2 from the outwit, and then I guess is that +1 automatically from the effect? Yeah.
Yep.
Was there
Alright.
something I should do to apply outwit to it, or?
Oh no,
Is that not-
I'll like I
Oh.
said, these will be manual adjustments, but that's perfectly fine. Just as long as so on the bottom left hand side, you can see that there's the modifiers. So anytime you need to apply the outwit bonus, just apply it down there. As for the AC,
Okay.
I'll be applying a penalty to my attack rather than having you add anything to your AC. So that just makes things easy. All right. So as you have basically intimidated this dog, you are going to try and force your hand down its throat to try and cause it to back off. So I'm going to get you to make an unarmed strike. This is just going to be a regular. Let's just go with a athletics check here. Just to kind of like, again, you're effectively trying to choke it to cause it to release, and that's fine. So make the roll.
Oh, come on.
Woof.
Come on.
That is unfortunate. That is very unfortunate.
Did we have any benefits from the chat for anything that we could use?
Unfortunately,
So
unfortunately.
mean tonight.
Unless
Unfortunately,
he's
not
used
today.
it.
Today we've got
Technically,
to
he got inspiration.
Who got the inspiration? Do we find that
It
out?
was stated. It was stated in chat, Fido.
Yeah, but do we know who got it? Who got the inspiration? Oh, we got an inspiration there. Fido, you can re-roll. There you go. Eric's come in.
Thank you, Eric.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Okay, I got my new character rolled up. Hold on.
Look, there's nothing. There is nothing you could do. This is happening.
That is 2 in a row.
All right. Pick a number between 1 to 5.
I've got buck luck here, Mel. Let's go 3.
All right, number 3. Here we go. Ooh, interesting. I'm going to flip another card for that, and I'm still going to go with 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, no.
Until we find
Double
something that's
damage.
appropriate. For example, something like armor smash is
Oh.
probably not going to be appropriate. Okay, nope, this is perfect. All right. Decision paralysis. As you stick your hand in its mouth, it chomps down a little harder. You are going to take a little bit of extra damage, but realizing that this is a trained guard dog and not a wild dog, has kind of altered what you think you should or might be keen on doing. So yes, you are slowed, meaning you will lose your last action for the next round. Right. Last person on our list, Hadrig, you're up. What do you want to do, buddy?
Hadrig is gonna curse at this under his breath. Maybe not quite under his breath. I'm gonna move to where I can actually see this dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess there.
Yep.
And I'm going to shoot it.
All right, make your attack.
Not playing around with the try and save the dark guard dog that is chomping on our companion here. So
well, I didn't hear the dog.
Look, stealth is out the window at this point.
All right, so you move and you fire. Roll your damage.
All right.
That noise, oh jeez.
That is 7 points of damage as it leans backwards. Oh, by the way, welcome in, Mercs of Mischief. So good to see you guys. Rating in with a party of 14. Welcome, welcome. My name is Michael. I'm the Dead Odds Gamer. We're actually just about to wrap up our game for today, but stick around because one of our players just shot a dog, and that's something we're gonna make him feel awful about. No, it's fine. Look, it's a guard dog. It's biting and it's nearly killed or ripped off one of the player's arms. Okay, so it's a violent ass dog. And you know it's how it goes. So anyway, hosting for 20, rating for 14. Yeah, I mean, yeah, go figure. Okay, so Patrick, as you've moved up, you've taken your first shot. The gun has gone off, and the dog is to the side. It's holding up one of its paws where you've shot it, but it still has a very enraged look in its eye.
All right. Well, the only thing I'm gonna just reload for.
Is it only a one capacity gun?
Yeah.
Ah, very well.
Dueling pistols, one capacity. That's why it's a D6.
All right. Well, in which case, just in this, because it's only got one hit point, I'm going to say this: as you land the shot, the dog slumps down and begins to whimper. However, as this happens, at this point, one of the nearby doors opens, and from within, a gnomish individual emerges, walking out. He looks down at the dog and goes, "Blue!" He snarls at you. "What have you done? Why'd you shoot me, dog? I'll kill ya! I'll kill you all!" And you watch as he pulls a pair of what look to be bent kukri. And I want you guys to check this dude out, because this guy... Oh, he's not got a pair. He's just got one. One kukri. This guy is definitely tweaking, okay? This guy is nuts.
He's definitely on something.
And as he springs to defend his injured dog, that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we're going to end today's session. So thank you so much to everyone who came and joined us today. Thank you to, of course, our wonderful Patreons, of which this whole game is possible. Unfortunate that we didn't get to didn't start off on the best of feet with the dog nearly killing Fido. The irony is not lost on me. And of course, a thank you to you, the audience, for being a massive contribution to this game. Now, really quickly, ladies and gentlemen, we have to thank our sponsors for today's show. which of course is Hero Forge for the wonderful artwork you can see for the players, as well as Sirenscape for the beautiful music and Fantasy Grounds for our VTT. Zen of the game, I love Curse of Strahd. Good luck, guys. Enjoy the story. It is a fantastic story. But while we will be running the adventure, I will be adding my own twists and turns because I'm a very character GM, so that's me. That's how I run. Now we're gonna do a very quick memorable moments, if that is okay. We'll just go around and say what is the most memorable moment from today's session, and maybe something that you guys might be looking forward to come next week. Sorry, no, not next week, because next week I will be doing Jasper's Game Day, the following week. So, Patrick, memorable moment for today, if you would, s'il vous plaît.
You always got to make me go first, because I'm up at top, huh?
That's right.
Yeah, I think going through the backgrounds, it's our first session, and everyone's introducing of their character and their motivations as to, why they're here and what their connection with this guy is. So I thought everyone did a good job on that.
Oh, thank you kindly. Holly, memorable moment for today?
I think seeing everybody's reactions to the situation they were in, where Holly was super excited to be in the situation in the room, and everybody else, like Quinn was crying when she got up there about the friend's daughter that she lost, and that was just amazing and awesome. So yeah, that was definitely it.
Nice. It was a really cool little difference between the character personas, which I definitely like that Holly is a little bit more bouncy than the others. Quinn?
I did like everyone's flashbacks, but if you were talking about the most memorable moment, it's going to have to be the Padraig and the Old Yeller. Shooting Old Yeller.
Yep, that's going to stick with us for a long time, Patrick. First thing you did, you shot a dog.
Sometimes that's what you got to do.
Sometimes what you got to do.
Pa, I'll take care of Old Yeller.
All right. Speaking of Fido, memorable moment for today.
Oh gosh, I'm thinking. There's so many memorable moments. I don't know. I mean, there's the dog training dog automaton getting killed by a dog. That's pretty kind of crazy there. But I think the one moment was rolling the natural one on trying to dominate the dog, and like, no way, I'll get a chance to re-roll because someone in the chat was nice enough to do it, and I rolled another nat one. It's awesome.
Yeah, that definitely has a chance thing of sneaking up on you. All right, and last but not least, Dante, memorable moment.
I will have to say, Holly breaking the dagger on a dog.
Yeah, that was kind of also unfortunate. Lots of fumbles today. And I think the Zen of Games actually mentioned earlier on, usually that third attack, if you ever get a chance to do it, is also kind of risky because, again, you fumble if you get a 10 or lower. So low rolls actually do hurt. And the cool thing is as you level up, you add your level to most of your attacks and things that you're trained in. So you actually crit against low-level creatures quite easily, but you also fumble against high-level creatures quite a lot. So this was a -1 CR creature, and you guys are level 1. So, again, it's just a series of bad rolls happen. You can't do much about it, but hopefully next game that we come back to, you guys will be able to pick that up. Now, my memorable moment is definitely getting to meet these characters for the very, very first time. Nothing excites me more than that. I loved the investigation kind of vibe you guys gave when we went to Zelara's. That was kind of cool, and I hope that you guys keep that spirit and that energy as we continue this adventure. Lots of cool stuff happening. A special thanks to our sponsors, Hero Forge, Fantasy Grounds, and Sirenscape. A special thanks to the Mercs of Mischief for coming in with their raid. Hope you Mischiefers are having a great time because, me and the Mercs we're up to something. We're up to something again, which I'm not going to share too much about it because I don't know if I can talk about it, but just stay tuned and keep an eye out for things. We're going to go and raid my friend, Your Narrator. For those of you who don't know, Your Narrator is a wonderful, squishy, and wholesome individual who I love to bits. He is playing Pokemon Arceus, which, as you know, I was playing a while ago. So we're going to go throw some support there. Guys, if we get a chance to, throw out all of the raid emotes, all of the hard emotes. I don't want anyone to be able to see his chat for a while. So thank you so much for coming and joining us till we meet again, which will likely be tomorrow on WSD 24, Rime of the Frost Maiden, or Wednesday for our Hero Forge review, which we've been waiting for. So that's going to be epic. As always, till next time, game hard or die trying. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.